We're officially into the second half of the Texas high school football regular season, and every game matters. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's week 7 of the 2022 Texas high school football season, and when I mean every game counts, I mean every game counts. At the UIL 11-man ranks, every game this week except 2 are district games. The only 2, by the way, Bishop and Port Isabel, still in that 4-team district down there. Shout out to you guys down south. Anyway, these games matter. These games are going to determine who gets into the playoffs, what they're seeded in, what their playoff path looks like. These games are huge, and they're going to have massive implications not only within their own district, but also within the region that they're in. So, massive games in every corner of the state, but we're going to go northeast. We start in Texarkana. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Hawk Stadium in Texarkana. It is a top 3 4A Division II showdown between the Gilmer Buckeyes and the Pleasant Grove Hawks. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, PG's trench advantage, and the size is going to be the biggest difference maker for Pleasant Grove this year. They are the bigger team in this game. They are probably the more physical team in this game with guys like Caleb Hackelman and Victor Diaz up front. They are big, they are physical, they are mean in the trenches, and they plow the road for their big physical running back in Jalen Boardley in that kind of wing T offense that they operate out there for Coach Josh Gibson. Now, that's not to say that Gilmer's small. Guys like Braylon Ward who are big and beefy up front, but they're smaller in this game because pretty much everyone in 4A Division II is going to be smaller than Pleasant Grove. They're one of the biggest and most physical teams in 4A Division II. The question here is not whether Gilmer can win in the trenches, but whether they can play it to a draw. If they play it to a draw, then I think that their skill position may make the difference. So, what happens when the PG fronts go to work? Key number 2, the Buckeyes' versatility. This is a Gilmer team that is multifaceted with a lot of different weapons on the offensive side. Remember, to start the year, we had big questions about this Gilmer quarterback situation, but sophomore quarterback Caden Tennyson has stepped up in a big way. He's got Rohan Flewellen out wide. Running back Will Henderson has been great. Ashton Haynes kind of does a little bit of everything. This is a team that is very versatile and can beat you in a lot of different ways. This has been a good Pleasant Grove defense, led by Caden McFadden, but this is going to be a big test for them, having to deal with a lot of different weapons. So, how does the Pleasant Grove defense match up with the various different ways that Gilmer can beat you? And key number 3, a bunch of peculiar things that probably don't matter, but might. So this is going to be a close game. And so in doing so, I was doing a lot of research into what could be the difference makers in this game. And I just kept coming across these weird facts about this game. And so instead of kind of tidying them up into one neat little narrative, I'm just going to kind of spit these things at you and tell you they probably won't matter. But in a close game, maybe it does. Okay, so here it goes. Pleasant Grove's coming off an open date, right? Gilmer's coming off two consecutive open dates. They haven't played in like nearly 3 weeks. It's very strange. Also, Gilmer beat Pleasant Grove twice last year, but Pleasant Grove got progressively better as the season went on, and that second matchup was 15 points closer than the first matchup. Also, this has been a really streaky series. At one point, Gilmer won 6 straight, and then Pleasant Grove won 5 straight, and now Gilmer has won the last 3. So, look, that's just a lot of history facts for you of an interesting series between 2 really good programs out there in East Texas. Does history have anything to say about what happens in 2022? Who am I picking? I'm going with Gilmer. I think the thing we haven't talked about enough here is the Gilmer defense, which has been very strong to start the year. We knew that they had a fair number of big-time playmakers coming back from last year's state finalists, and they have shown out in a big way. This is a big test for them against this big physical rushing attack for Pleasant Grove led by Jalen Boardley, and that's going to be a real question for them, is can they match up front? Because there's a lot of teams that Pleasant Grove might just mow down, and Gilmer could be one of them. But I look at the weaponry that they've got with guys like Caden Tennyson, guys like Ashton Haynes, guys like Rohan Flewellen. I think they're going to be able to score a few points. At that point, it's going to be up to the Gilmer defense to make it hold up. I think this game's going to be really close. It's always fun when these two get together, but I give Gilmer the very slight edge. Give me the Buckeyes. 7 o'clock Friday night at Featherston Field in Chilton. It is a state-ranked unbeaten matchup in District 13 2A Division 2 as the Bremond Tigers visit the Chilton Pirates. It's a really good district, District 13 2A Division 2. You've got these two teams, plus Milano, who's undefeated, plus you've got Granger, who's state-ranked. It's a really good deep district. This is the opening salvo to that. On the Chilton side, first-year coach Benny Hewitt has done a fantastic job with these Pirates, and they've got Dalen Ford, the do-it-all athlete, plus their defense has been terrific with Miguel Barron leading the way at the linebacker spot. On the other side, Bremond's got a kid you need to know about. Sophomore quarterback Braylon Wortham. He is that dude, okay? Now, Bremond has a great history of having that dude at quarterback emerging as a sophomore. Hello, Rashad Paul. This is like that. He's got 27 touchdowns through his first 5 games. He has been an absolute dynamo. Plus, the Bremond defense has been pretty darn good. It's hard to split these two teams. Chilton does have the advantage being at home, but I think that Bremond has the individual best player in Wortham. I give the slight edge to the Tigers. Give me Bremond. 7 o'clock Friday night at Bremond Stadium in Belleville. It's another matchup of unbeatens, this one in the 4A ranks, as the Belleville Brahmas welcome in the Brookshire Royal Falcons. These are two surprising unbeaten teams, but kind of for different reasons. For Belleville, we thought they'd be pretty good, even though they graduated a fair amount of their star power, but we didn't think they'd be this good. They've been fantastic, running the ball exceptionally well with D.D. Murray and Sam Renicky. Plus, they have the third best statistical defense in all of 4A Division 2. This team is serious business on the defensive side. On the Brookshire Royal side, 5-0, that's the most wins they've had in an entire season since 2010. What Coach Theatis Reagans is doing down there at Brookshire Royal is really remarkable, and he's going to be in the running for Coach of the Year, plain and simple. What they've been able to do there with the Falcons is exceptional. By the way, this team is really young. Really young. They've only got 6 seniors. One of them is very important in linebacker Justin Cryer, leading what has been a fantastic Royal defense. And they've got a sophomore quarterback in Derek Noel Jr. This team is really fun to watch, and the best may be yet to come. Asking them to go on the road and beat a state-ranked unbeaten Belleville team is probably too much to ask, though. I think that Belleville's the favorite here. Give me the Brahmas. And 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Coyote Stadium in Richland Springs is perhaps the most anticipated 6-man football game of the year as the Cherokee Indians visit the Richland Springs Coyotes, and everyone in the 6-man world has had this game circled all year long because this is maybe an opportunity to see some history here. You see, Richland Springs has not lost a home game since August 2013. Impressive stuff. Hold on a second. They have not lost a district game since October 2001. Richland Springs has not lost a district game since October 2001. From a calendar perspective, it is the longest district winning streak in Texas high school football history. It is crazy how consistent they have been, but they are in severe peril in this game because this Cherokee team is for real. Running back Gunnar Baugh, they've got a big-time playmaker in Joey Bond on both sides of the ball. This team is loaded. They are ready for prime time. Now, Richland Springs ain't going away quietly. This team is really talented. Braxton Etheridge has been terrific for them, taking the reins of this high-flying Richland Springs attack. And, of course, they've got the streak at their back, and they're going to be at home. One thing is, this is going to be Richland Springs' first real test of the year. I think they've really mowed past teams that they're a lot better than. Cherokee really measures up with them. They're probably a little bit more battle-tested coming into this game. Of course, we would be remiss if we also didn't mention that Richland Springs is without their head coach. Jerry Burkhart was suspended by the UIL for 3 years for alleged recruiting violations, so they will have an interim coach on the sideline. What does all this mean? I don't know. I mean, it is extremely hard to separate these two teams. There's plenty of reason to think that Richland Springs is going to keep the streak going, but I'll say this. I think Cherokee might have one small advantage that might make a difference, and it's their kicker, Rhodey Ligon, who might make the difference in this ballgame. It's close, it's hard to tell, but I think Cherokee breaks the streak. Give me the Indians. But those are far from the only big games in Week 7 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I like Woodville over Cold Spring Oakhurst. Give me Wink to take down El Dorado. And I'm going with Wichita Falls Rider over Evelyn Cooper. I'm going with Stratford over Farwell. Sonora takes down Ozona, and Wichita Falls Hershey bounces back with a win over Graham. I like San Antonio Clark over San Antonio Johnson. I think North Crowley stays perfect with a win over previously unbeaten Saginaw Boswell. And give me West Orange Stark over Hampshire Fannett. I like Midlothian Heritage over Mansfield Summit. Give me Llano over Universal City Randolph, and I'm going with Wellington over Shamrock. In the Rio Grande Valley, I like Harlingen over Weslaco. In the Brazos Valley, I like Flatonia over Hearn, and give me Toller to take down Coleman. I like El Paso Del Valle over El Paso Parkland. Crawford takes down Marlin, and South Lake Carroll stays perfect with a win over unbeaten Keller. I think Cameron Yo stays hot with a win over Little River Academy. I think Bushland stays perfect with a win over Muleshoe, and Shiner beats Three Rivers. Brackenville beats Dehanus. I like Bowling over Van Vleck, and San Antonio Harlandale beats San Antonio Highlands. Maybe a small upset, but I like Amarillo over Lubbock Cooper. Give me Round Rock to stay perfect with a win over Manor, and PSJA North stays perfect with a win over La Jolla Palmview. I like Mojo over Bronco. That's Odessa Permian over Odessa. Give me Newton to take down previously unbeaten Hemphill, and New Waverly beats Anderson Shira. I like Mount Vernon over Winsboro in a battle of unbeatens. Magnolia West beats Magnolia in that wild and woolly District 10-5A Division 1, and give me Longview to beat Forney. I think Lindale runs past Kilgore. Give me Liberty Hill over San Antonio Veterans Memorial. And hey, the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Watch-Along is back. Thursday, watch Katie and Katie Pato with us, along with special guests DJ Mann from Lubbock Coronado and McKinney's Marcus Shavers. I like Katie over Pato. I like Idalou over Abernathy. Galena Park North Shore beats Humble Summer Creek. And in a top 4 matchup in 3A Division 2, I like Gunner over Bells. I like Fort Bend Marshall over Texas City. Duncanville gets by Waxahachie, and it's one of the oldest rivalries in Texas. I like El Campo over Bay City. I'm going with Columbus over Hallonsville, Collinsville over Celeste, and Denton Ryan over Burleson Centennial, but this is major upset watch. I like College Station over Cedar Park. Give me Cisco to take down Olney, and China Spring beats Alvarado. I'm going with Canadian over Childress. Bernie takes down Uvalde, and another matchup of unbeatens. I like Argyle over Lake Dallas. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 7 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.